Good morning, folks. This morning, I'm going to make a phone call to the Virginia National Guard and ask them some questions about this whole situation in Virginia. So stay tuned. Hold on. In the military, and I know that there's certain things you can't say, but I have some basic questions I want to ask you about this situation.
Go for it, sir. Be happy to help you.
Okay, so as you know, there are these new laws that they're trying to pass in Virginia, and in regards to gun control, and
right,
many of the counties out there are making themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries even before these laws get passed. And what I want to know is, we all took an oath to defend the Constitution, to defend our rights. We actually gave up our rights so that we can defend other people's rights. Is that how you feel about that?
Sir, to my knowledge, every guardsman I know would uphold their oath. Same oath that you took, except we had also the Constitution of the state of Virginia.
Right.
As you know, in both of our oaths, the Constitution comes first.
Absolutely.
So we would not engage in an activity that would be unconstitutional, illegal, or unethical. Plain and simple. Now, I am 4 months from retirement. I will drop my paperwork in a heartbeat if somebody gives me that order.
I heard that. All
right. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And one thing I know that protects us as servicemen is the fact that we do not have to obey an unlawful order, right?
That's correct.
We don't have to obey an unlawful order. And so, there's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of conflict within this country in regards to what the Constitution does and does not protect. But I feel like it's pretty cut and dry, especially with the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is very clear. It's a well-regulated militia being necessary for a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, people like to take the language of that and twist it around and make it mean what they want it to mean, but we know what well-regulated meant back in those days, right? When they wrote the Constitution. It didn't mean well-restricted, well-ruled, oversaw. It meant well-equipped, well-trained, well-disciplined. Would you agree with that?
That is actually correct, sir.
Yes. And many people don't know that. They think it means, we got to place all these restrictions. And no, it just means that we have to be prepared and ready for any threat, any terrorist attack, whatever we have to do. And so I'm glad you understand that. I'm glad you're with that. And I have another question. So there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion about what a militia is. Is the National Guard a state militia?
That one, sir, is a definite can of worms.
Right.
According to the Constitution of Virginia, the National Guard is the organized militia of the state.
Oh, the organized.
The organized, because every other male aged 16 to 45 can constitute the unorganized militia of the state.
Right.
Now, every state views militia differently.
Okay.
That definition of militia comes right out of the state constitution and is codified in state law.
Okay.
Now, you start talking about militia being a bunch of guys running around, getting together on a weekend, doing what they're doing.
Right.
That, as you can imagine, runs the entire gamut from trained professionals to please don't let me be anywhere near these guys. Hey, that's the way that is. However, do they have the right to do so? Absolutely.
Right.
Their right, is to assemble and to do what they're going to do, and as long as no one or no property is harmed in the doing, that's between them and local law enforcement, to be honest with you. And, they have the right to do what they need to do. That's codified into the First Amendment. It has nothing to do with the Second.
Right.
That's codified into the First Amendment, peaceful assembly.
Yes, so, absolutely.
Do you want to look at these guys sometimes, point the finger and laugh? Absolutely. Do you want to take them seriously sometimes? Absolutely. You know?
I think they all should be taken seriously because they take themselves seriously.
Exactly.
Whether we do or not.
Right. Yes. And I agree with you. You know, besides that, never laugh in a man's face when he's holding a rifle. That's stupid.
Nope. You don't do that.
But, you know, hey, militias, you know what? They have the right to exist. They have the right to do what they need to do. Absolutely. Keep it lawful. Keep it safe.
Yeah.
And you're perfectly within your rights.
Now, my question would be: so you have your state definition of what a militia is.
Yeah.
But when they created this Constitution and when they brought this about, now we do know that the Bill of Rights was not initially in the Constitution with the first draft. It was kicked back. As a matter of fact, the first Constitution, the original draft, was kicked back because the states wanted there to be a Bill of Rights. They said, "Oh no, each state has a Bill of Rights. This should have a Bill of Rights as well." Now, when they created the Bill of Rights, when they had this definition of a militia, do you think that they ever thought that, okay, a National Guard organization or organized militia, as you state, do you think that they felt like something like that could be activated by the federal government would be considered a militia when they put that in the Constitution? Or do you think...
Well, during those times, a militia was every male capable of bearing arms.
Yes. Farms people, ranchers, cowboys, everybody. Anybody that was physically able. Right?
Correct. Physically able, you had a duty to report for militia duty.
Right.
Or have somebody stand in your stead. Okay. And the reason being is, during this time, they had a very legitimate fear of a large standing army.
Right.
Besides which, if the army is located in one of the other colonies and something happens, it could take weeks for the army to show up.
Exactly.
So who do you rely on? Rely on your militia.
Right. And for me, the same thing goes with the police department. So when seconds count, police are minutes away, right? It's the same concept. So you should, essentially, you're your own militia within your own home. You have to be able to defend your home and defend even your neighbors if you have to. So the fact that they want, I know you can't really speak too much on this part because now we're getting into something a little deeper. The fact that they flipped the state of Virginia, right? And the first thing they want to do is pass all these laws that would now hinder the people of Virginia to just give up their rights to keep their arms, give up their rights to defend themselves. I feel like that's just absolutely crazy. And the fact that someone would suggest that they call in the National Guard when a county declares itself to be a sanctuary city, I just think that's ridiculous. I don't think they understand how this whole thing works. Like, now you live in Virginia, right?
That's correct, sir.
You work in Virginia. You have family in Virginia, probably. I don't know anything about you, but would I be correct in assuming that? So how would you feel?
Yeah. I
know you probably can't say how you feel about it, but how would you feel if they told you, "Oh, we need you to go to Newport News and go and run in these people's houses and violate their Fourth Amendment rights and you never know, you might have a cousin that lives in Virginia. Now you got to go and violate your cousin's rights. Like, how easy would that be for any National Guardsman to do?
It would not be easy at all, and the reason being is, just like you did, we took that same oath,
right? And
you would be asking a guardsman to follow what could, and I put this, potentially be an illegal, unethical, or immoral order, which we will not do. We took an oath. We will follow that oath.
Right.
So any order like that would be reviewed up one side, down the other, to make sure that it was 100% legal before it would be issued. I know our officers. I know our adjutant general. if an order like that were to ever be issued, and I need to point out, there has been no such order, and there has been no such need for one.
Right.
If something like that, any order issued would be 100% legal before anybody would follow it. We've also taken our oaths, and we will follow our oaths. We will not be, and to use the term, we will not be oath breakers over an illegal order.
Okay,
But,
I hear you.
again, gotta stress, nothing like that been said, been done, been,
right.
None of that.
And this is one reason why I wanted to call you guys, because this is just a politician mouthing off and making threats, right? So, and I wanted to help people understand, because I'm something of a journalist. I'm not an official journalist, but I'm something of a journalist, and I want to help people understand that they're trying to spread fear. So they're trying to spread fear in the hearts of Virginians that, well, maybe we should do this and do that. But, like you said, you haven't gotten any orders. You haven't gotten any inkling that you would have to do that. I'm pretty sure you've gotten plenty of phone calls in regards to this.
Yep.
But my thing is, what is your take on this? Let's say they give you a legal order. They give you a legal order. What if the legal order is immoral? What if it's immoral? What if it means...
If it's immoral, I'm not following it, because that's something that's not legal.
Right.
If it is immoral, it is not a legal order. If it is illegal or unconstitutional, it is not a legal order.
Right.
People ask, would you fire on a fellow American? The normal answer to that is hell no.
Right. Unless the American is a threat. But now we're talking about peaceful people who have done nothing wrong. They have not hurt anyone. You just have someone. It's like the prohibition, right? Oh, at midnight, alcohol will be illegal, even though, you drunk drivers can kill people, and that's a huge problem. But what we're talking about is someone who owns an inanimate object that's not going to do anything to anybody unless someone does something with it. You're talking about they can make it a law that these people can't own that stuff, and they can say, oh, well, the sheriffs aren't going to enforce these laws. Now we got to send the National Guards in. And that's what people's major concern is. Like, they feel like you guys just going to run up, like you guys, like you're Chinese, like you're the Chinese military. We know how the Chinese military is. Totally different than what we got going on out here, right?
If we did not take that oath and we were like a third world country, then they would have a very valid concern. To be honest with you, sir, I do not know a single guardsman that would violate that oath,
right?
To do something like that. Now, again, stress: no orders, no laws. The laws aren't even in committee yet.
Right.
None of that. And so, the speculation, as you know, is out there, lighting up everything.
Yep.
And people have a definite right to be concerned about their rights, their freedoms, their privileges, which is the reason you and I both took that oath, and we both have worn a uniform. I'm still in mine.
Right.
It wasn't, as you said, we gave up our right to protect their rights.
Right.
I wish a lot of people would realize that this uniform is the barrier to tyranny and oppression. It is not the means of enforcing it.
And that's what it's supposed to be. And that's what I try to help people understand, that most, and this is getting off into something else, but how many coups, what large percentage of coups were initiated by the military that felt like their government was overstepping and being oppressive? A large percentage.
And a large percentage, but you're also talking about governments that, for the largest part, were not of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Right.
And so I'm a general, and I've got 50,000 guys personally sworn to me.
Right.
There's your power thing right there. So, has the United States military ever done a coup? No. Would we?
No.
I cannot imagine. So would we, again, follow that illegal, immoral, or unethical order? If we can't do that, no, I cannot ever see us doing that. That's my personal take. Like I said, I would never accept it. And I do not know a single guardsman of any state, anywhere, that would do the same thing. I don't personally know any of them that, when it came down to it, you got to make a moral, ethical, legal choice that they are not going to stick by their own.
Right. Yep. And I would agree. I would hope that that's the case. And like I said, I know it's being sensationalized to a degree, but at the same time, the media isn't really touching. Has mainstream media contacted you guys a lot, or is it mostly people like me?
It's mostly people like you that have called in on this number. Those who've contacted our public affairs officer, I honestly don't know.
Right.
To be honest with you, I hardly ever have a chance to see him and talk to him. But no, I mean, and it's been concerned citizens like you. You're like my fourth phone call in 10 minutes. So, but that's not a problem.
Right.
As you said, a lot of people out there, they're fanning flames, they're making smoke, they're talking talk, and, they're making, I can't say they don't have a valid concern. I cannot say that their concerns are not invalid. Okay? But
look what's going on here in California.
That isn't there.
Look what's going on here in California.
Yeah.
Except we don't
used to live
have
on that side.
Yeah, we our counties don't have the balls to make themselves sanctuary cities. I mean, they're too afraid of that. There is one county,
understood,
but that's it, like in the middle of nowhere near the Arizona border. You know what I mean? No one goes out there, so I mean,
all 12 people voted.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, so yeah, and I'm glad you know what? I appreciate you being so forthcoming. I wasn't really expecting it, but it's good to hear that we have some guys in uniform that have some sense. And if your guys, if your soldiers are anything like you, I think we're looking good in Virginia. And like you said, they have a right to make themselves sanctuary cities according to this. You said the state constitution, right? They have that right.
Well, if you look up, and I'll give you this one, Virginia Gun Owners Forum. Look them up. Look at the map. You will see a lot of green. Okay. You can see how the state's going. Even primarily Democratic areas that would, that elected Democratic representatives of the legislature have gone green.
Right.
This is a major thing. So I mean, it's not a little minor matter, and
right.
These people are making their opinions known. They're making their stand known. They're making their all I can say is, where were you guys at the voting box in November?
Right.
But they're stepping up. They're doing what they're supposed to do. The thing that they not only have a right to do, but a duty to do.
Thanks.
And they're taking care of that. And I just talked to a guy before you who runs a YouTube channel, was asking a lot of the same questions. Really what I want to say is, can y'all get the word out that the people out there fanning the flames and talking, I'm going to grab my gun and barricade the door talk, really need to tone it down.
No, I agree. Yeah.
They're scared. They're scaring folks, and they're scaring folks unnecessarily.
Yep.
Folks like you asking logical, reasonable questions. I like talking to you guys. I've talked to a lot of the other kinds before. But hey, if you could help and say, look, we're soldiers. We're not thuds.
And
we're gonna honor our oath.
And that's what I was saying. I did a YouTube video before where I was saying that it won't be, the National Guard won't be called in and then at a snap of a finger they're just going to go out and just start just violating rights and slaughtering people and throwing people in internment camps. It's not going to work like that. And so I'm
no.
and that's what I was trying to put out there. This fear-based And that's what we live. We live in a fear-based society where, you know, people believe everything they hear, everything they see, and they don't go and do the digging and do the research themselves. They don't go ask the questions. And so I would say this. I feel like a police officer would be quicker to violate your rights than a soldier. And that's what I told him. I said, you know, because that's essentially what police officers are trained to do. We're trained to deal with threats in foreign lands, and the police are trained to deal with threats in domestically. And, you know, some people, you know, they get the power tripping, and, you know, they do things that, you know, a lot of them don't understand the law. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. Right now we're talking about you guys. I don't know how you feel about that, but, you know.
Well, you know, you got your bad apples everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter. And when I say I will not violate my oath, I cannot say that every single individual soldier in the National Guard in the United States, somebody isn't going to violate their oath. I got it. There's a bad apple everywhere.
Yeah.
But, you know, we are not going to follow a directive that is unconstitutional, plain and simple. We're just not going to do it. And, you know, if you see National Guard troops on the street, it's not there to harass you or to seize your guns or to do any of that. It's there to protect you. Right. It's the hurricane response. We're there to help the citizen, not oppress the citizen.
Right.
And, you know, when you know, like you're in California, you guys got the fires, you got everything else. How often do you see Guard troops out there with guns? You know, you're talking riots, you're talking major civil disturbances.
Right.
That they might be armed. Right. You know, but other than that, we go out there like every other citizen to do our job and to help out people. Why would any guardsman suddenly turn and, you know, basically violate the very thing they swore to uphold and defend? When I listen to these YouTubers out there, and I listen to read some of the stuff on the websites, or I get these postings through, because personally I'm a big supporter of the Second Amendment sanctuary status.
Right.
My county voted sanctuary without even holding a hearing. They went outside and told the people what they were doing. And that, you know, you guys can come in and talk, but we already voted and it's already passed. You know, which of course made all 800 people that showed up cheer. And when I say 800 people, we only got 10,000 people in my county. Right. So we're outnumbered 18-1 by cattle.
That's good.
So, you know, they all just cheered and everybody had hot chocolate and went home. So, you know, when these people are out there fanning flames, you know, think about your individual guardsmen. We live in these communities. You know, would you go through your own neighborhood kicking in doors to see something?
No.
No. And I live out in the country. Okay, I'm like the new guy. I don't have as many guns as everybody else. 80% of my people in my country, in my county, are Vietnam veterans. Do I want any of them to have a Charlie moment?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. And I can't think of anyone else that would. You know, I'm a member of my volunteer rescue squad, and I've helped out the fire department. I've gone to these people's houses. You know, we go to church together. Right. Exactly. Who in the world would oppress your neighbors? Hey guys, y'all know where I live. You think I'm going to be that kind of a person? You know, no. And we don't. You know, you don't get paid a lot in the military, even if you're full time. You don't get paid.
You don't.
You know, no. So we don't do this for a power trip, or we don't do this because we're getting rich.
Right.
And we're sure as heck not going to do something like that, which, you know, makes everything you've done invalid. I mean, just, you know, it's wrong.
Right. I agree. Now, what do you feel about the necessity to make sanctuary? Why is it that we actually have to make sanctuary, Second Amendment sanctuaries, when it's already outlined in the Constitution. Why is it that we have to do that? Why is it that why does it have to come to this? Why can't it just be respected and understood that, look, it's here. You can try to interpret it however many ways, but the key phrase in that amendment is "shall not be infringed." And why can't people just respect that and understand it? There's 400 million guns in the country. It's not 400 million deaths every day by guns. It's just not. So I just, the fact that we have to make these sanctuary cities is crazy.
If we were sitting down over a beer, I'd be happy to discuss this.
I know.
You and I both know I'm in uniform.
Yep.
That's politics, man. I can't go there.
I understand, brother.
I can't go there.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing, and I appreciate you taking this call and being so forthcoming as you have been. I really appreciate that, and thank you for your service.
Not a problem, sir. Hey, and thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Hua.
All right, Hua.
Right,
bye.
Well, there you have it. Conversation with a general in the Virginia National Guard unit. Like he said at the end there's only so much he can say, and I feel like he actually went further than I thought he would. I got a lot more information out of him than I thought I would. So I really had to be careful about what I said to him, because what I don't want is what I didn't want is to get him all riled up and then end up getting him in trouble, because best believe those calls are monitored and they're recorded, and he has to be very careful, and they're probably going to come to my YouTube channel and listen to the conversation. So it is what it is. There was so much I wanted to get into, and I know that there's probably a lot more he wanted to get into, like the whole thing about laws and things like that. Like the fact that these laws are put in place in the first place, the fact that we have to create sanctuary cities for our rights to be protected is just ridiculous, man. And and that's why I told you guys exactly what he said. There are bad apples, like he said, and the fact that look at this shit, man. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm distracted by the chemtrail spraying. Come on, man. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. Look at that. Isn't it absolutely asinine? Look at all this spraying. Like, what are they doing right now? Look at that. Anyway. So, yeah. It went a lot further than I thought. But, like I said, man, they're not just gonna... These National Guards people, they live there. They live in those cities. They live in those counties. They're not just gonna run up in their own county and just start doing people like that, like he said, he's a general with 50,000 members under him, 50,000 soldiers under his command. And you heard him. He said he wasn't going to violate people's rights. He wasn't going to violate the Constitution. That's what he said. But he has received no orders saying that he's going to go out and that they have gotten no orders. See, this is just a member of the Democratic Party in Virginia stirring up shit, trying to strike fear into people's hearts. Oh, well, if you guys don't comply with the law, we're going to send the National Guard. He's well within his rights. Well, you heard the man. It's not. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So anyway, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I feel like they're going to be sanctuary counties, and they're just going to be sanctuary counties, and people are going to be able to enjoy their Second Amendment rights, point blank and period. It shouldn't be necessary, but hey, whatever you got to do to make it work, you make it work. Anyway, much love to y'all. Be sure to hit that like button, share, subscribe. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, so you guys let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Do you feel like the man was genuine? Do you feel like he would genuinely not violate his rights? Or do you feel like he's genuine about not violating people's rights? Do you feel like he's genuine about that? Do you understand where he's coming from? Do you understand that the fear is, they try to strike fear in people's hearts? Do you think the fear is valid? Or do you think that people are blowing out of proportion? What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section. And yeah, much love to y'all. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. Peace.